Hi, welcome to Kahron's Corner, the broadcast that not only bring you the top car reviews, but also bring awareness and funds for the rare genetic disease called P10. So join us while we take a ride through the world of cars and make a difference in fighting against P10. And so buckle up, find me on YouTube, and get ready for a ride through the world of cars with Kahron's Corner. I ended up bringing Soroya Garner. She's a lawyer and she's also my auntie. I'm going to let you explain what you do, auntie.
Thanks for having me on your show today. So, again, my name is Soroya Garner, and I am the founder and managing attorney of Soroya Garner Law. So, at our practice, we focus on serving entrepreneurs and small business owners and helping them to protect their business, their brand, and their legacy.
It's business going all around the family. We all do something different. We all have our own pros and cons. Today we're gonna welcome her to the Corner Lab. We got a list of we got some questions for you. What we got to first is for patent copyrights and trade secrets. What do I need to do to get myself started for like having patents for my things I want to sell and having trademarks so nothing be taken?
Look at you, Ron. That's such a great question. And that's so important that you want to make sure that your ideas and your creativity is not taken by somebody else without your permission. And
Yep.
so the first thing you want to do is to understand the difference between those three that you listed. So, patents, for anybody that's watching and is not familiar, patents protect inventions. So if you create a new software, new machinery, maybe even an app, you might want to protect that under patent law because it protects inventions. Trademarks is another area of intellectual property, and trademarks protects your brand's identity. So, like your business name, or Ron, for you, it might be your podcast name, right?
Yep.
So that's your brand identity, and so that's what trademark protects. And then the third one that you mentioned, copyright, that protects your creative work. So, like if you are to write a book or ebook, even your podcast episodes, that's a creative work, and that's where copyright comes into play. So that's the first step, is to understand the difference between the three, and then from there you can apply them to the particular assets that you have in your business. So that's
Yeah.
a great question, but I think that's the first step, right?
I'll say you gotta make sure you ready to go before you end up creating something end up being taken from you, and that's what you gotta make sure you're ready.
Yeah, you're right on with that. You got to make sure you're ready and protect it before you even put it out there to the public and let everybody see it. So that's an excellent point.
Why did you become a lawyer, and why did you choose to practice IP and not something else?
So I chose to practice IP for a number of reasons. So as you know, Ron, growing up as a kid, me and your other aunties, we grew up practicing and learning how to play piano. And
Yeah.
so in doing that, I really grew to love the arts, and I wanted to help protect artists and musicians in their creative works, because so many times they get taken advantage of and don't really get paid what they're truly worth. So that's one reason. And then also, you know, that your grandma puts on amazing cultural tours, right? And so
Yeah.
growing up as a kid, I got to go on those tours and learn about so many Black pioneers that have contributed to our society. And they created so many different inventions, and they're just brilliant minds. And during that time, they didn't have the privilege or the right to protect their creativity. And so with that, that's those are two main reasons as why I chose intellectual property. It's really just to protect um, entrepreneurs and creatives with a big heart for protecting Black entrepreneurs and making sure that we're protected.
Yeah, you got to make sure you protect it at all from all ways, because there's a lot of ways that you can get things taken from you, not
Yeah.
just in business.
Exactly. Yep,
Can
you are right.
you tell us about a moment that shaped you into who you are today?
A moment that shaped me into who I am today. I really have to go back to probably your first question, and that's like
Yeah.
what led me to this area. So I would say just growing up and having that exposure to our history, that
Yeah.
really shaped me. It did. It opened my eyes to all of the contributions and the sacrifices that those that have come before us have made, and it has really instilled a sense of obligation to make sure that I'm serving
Mhm.
our community and our people, and young kids like you, Ron, to make sure
Yeah.
that you are set up to be successful and to live a fulfilling and abundant life.
You gotta make sure you keep options open, and for if you want to do certain career, you make sure your options is open while you still have the chance to choose. Because
Yep.
if you lose your chance to choose, it'll be end up going good. What is the best piece of advice you ever gave?
Ooh, the best piece of advice that I've ever given. Hmm. I feel like I give fairly good advice. That's sound. But I would
That's okay.
say that you can't take shortcuts. So
Yeah,
I like
you.
to tell people, especially like my clients or prospective clients, that shortcuts get you cut short, right? There is
Yeah,
no shortcut to putting in the work and sacrificing in order to get to success. We just have to put in the work. And when you try to take shortcuts, it's going to catch up to you at some point. So just be diligent, put in the work, and you'll get to where you want to be.
yeah. Next one we have here is maybe if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Top five. Oh boy. Okay. Historical figure. Let's see. The first person that comes to mind is Nipsey Hussle. I would love to have dinner with him. I feel like he was such a transformational individual and powerful in his community and abroad. He touched so many lives
Yeah.
by the moves that he made, and he really set precedents on how to invest in yourself and your family, to set up a structure around that so that even when you transition on, your family can still eat and be taken care of. So I think he was definitely brilliant in that. So I'd love to have dinner with him, just to name
Yeah.
one.
Did y'all know
Now,
that? I didn't know that.
do you suggest me to get a patent for something that I invented before I can get an investor?
Yes, I think you should have your patents filed and pending before you start looking for investors. Because have you heard of the show Shark Tank, Ryan?
Yes.
Yep. So on Shark Tank, some of the sharks, they'll ask you whether or not you have any patents pending or trademarks, because they want to make sure that your inventions or your business is protected. They don't want to give you money if they're going to be looking at liability. So they want to make sure that you do have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. So it's definitely important to make sure you have that stuff secured before you go and pursue
What do you got
investors.
planned next in your career?
What do I have planned next? Well, Ron, as you know, right now, it's just me. I'm the only attorney, but my whole goal is to make room and to make space for other Black attorneys to come in and to work in an area of law that actually um, is beneficial to many families, and they need our services. And so I want them to be fulfilled in serving, but also having that option to have time with their family and enjoy life. So that's what our whole goal is to build an environment for other attorneys to serve and to live a fulfilling life.
Yeah, I fully agree on
Mhm.
having the time out, even when you're working to go spend time with your family, and that's
Yeah,
that's really good.
that's what
But
it's all about. We got to take you on some trips.
yeah, next one we have here is what is the next events you have coming up?
Our next events. Okay, well, we have actually a virtual event next Sunday. So that is August the 13th, which is a Sunday evening. We're going to be doing a virtual Zoom call, and it is our family roundup for legacy planning. So we're going to be encouraging you all, and including you, Ryan, you should tune in as well. But families to
I gotta check my
gather up
Palm Pilot and
everyone.
see.
What'd
I
you
gotta check
say?
my Palm Pilot and
You
see
got to
if I
check your Palm Pilot. Well, put me on your Palm Pilot. But the whole purpose is to gather families so we can discuss the importance of legacy planning. So, making sure that we have a plan in place for when we transition, right? When we pass
Yeah.
away, we want to make sure that our loved ones are taken care of, that our businesses are taken care of, our assets are squared away, so that families aren't fussing and fighting with one another and there's not a big mess and
Yeah.
liability that's left when you pass away. So we're going to be doing that next Sunday, and it's important for even your generation to tune in that you already have the knowledge. You can be ahead of everybody else and have the knowledge and know what to do for when you become an adult.
Yeah.
So that's next
And
week.
talking about legacy, and what would you suggest, to get started for even after say someone passed away, what would you suggest for them to start getting started on putting away their assets, or setting up who they want their assets to go to, or setting up the starting of setting up a will?
Yeah, that's a fabulous question. So, those are some of the things we'll be talking about. What's the difference between a will and a trust, right? We hear
Yeah.
about these things, but we don't really know what they are or
Yeah.
why they're important or what they do. So, that's what we're going to be talking about. But to answer your question, I am a huge advocate for having a trust. So, have you heard of a trust fund, Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, indeed. You are going to be a beneficiary of a trust fund. And so that is what we are going to be encouraging families to do, is to build a trust so that your children, your loved ones, your nieces and nephews can be taken care of and they can have an inheritance, right? That's what it's all about, is making it easier for you all. Okay,
Yeah.
so yep. Tune
We
in
all
next Sunday,
heard
okay,
about it,
Ryan?
but we don't know the details about it.
What'd you say?
We all know about it, but we haven't heard the details about it with a trust fund and what the details about a will. And we all need to know who gets grandma's house,
Exactly. We
Yeah,
do. Because guess what? The adults get to fighting, right? They get to
yeah,
fighting over who gets grandma's house and who gets
yeah,
this and that and her mink coats and everything. We don't want
yeah,
to fight about that. So
yeah,
we got to put a plan in place so we don't have to
yeah,
bicker with one another.
yeah.
Did y'all know that? I didn't know that.
Now, the last question we got here, you got to keep it the cars included. What was your first car?
What was my first car?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't even remember, Ron. That's such a good question. What
yeah,
was my first car? I think it was a Suzuki. It was a
yeah,
silver Suzuki. Now I don't know the model of it, but that was the make. Now the first one I got for myself was an Acura.
yeah.
So I love that car, the Acura ILX. That's the first one that I got for
Yeah.
myself.
Dream car and why?
My dream car right now, I would say it's still the Genesis
It's,
GB80. So I've got my
yeah,
eye on that one, Ryan.
yeah,
I'm gonna take you with me when it's time to go get
yeah.
it.
I will go with you. Next question here is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, any superpower? That's a good one. I would probably want to have a few of them. I don't want to be greedy, but
Yeah,
to name one, I would say maybe to read people's mind. If I could read people's mind, that'd be a cool superpower.
yeah. Oh yeah, reading people's mind would be a good power.
Yeah.
Motivated during challenging times in your work.
How do I stay motivated? Wow. You know what? What keeps me motivated is my why I started in the first place. It truly is all about legacy for me. And you probably don't even know this, Ron, but you keep me motivated. You keep me motivated so much to keep going in my business, even when things get challenging, because I want to make sure that, when as you grow and maybe turn 18 and graduate college, right? I mean, from high school, you want to have options. And I want to make sure that you are set up and able to surpass me, your dad, your grandparents. I want you to be able to run so much farther than any of us have. And so I do what I do for you so you can be successful and the next generation can be successful.
Thank you. And the next
Did
we
y'all
have
know
here
that?
is
I didn't know that.
well, we're just about to finish up in the corner lab. It was nice having you here, Auntie. And we going ahead. You can always will be welcome back. First I gotta check my Palm Pilot first.
Well, thank you, Ron, for inviting me and for welcoming me to come back. And I just want to say I'm so very proud of you for what you're doing here on Kahron's Corner. You are such a leader, and I'm so excited to see your bright future ahead of you. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.